Are you tired of feeling run down and exhausted? In our fast-paced world, we're often surrounded by toxins that impact our well-being. I provide holistic solutions designed to detoxify your body and environment. With cutting-edge AO voice scan technology, we identify the root causes of your discomfort or dis-ease, making personalized healing easier than ever. Start your transformative journey towards a healthier, toxin-free life, because at White Sands Self-Care, your well-being is our priority.
Do you suffer from anxiety? Ask your doctor about... Actually, don't. Try Vibe instead, the non-drug way to calm your nervous system. No crazy side effects, no floating, no feathers. Just gentle calm, without the side effects, like morphing into a dolphin. Vibe is energy therapy for your body, helping your nervous system reset naturally. Millions of therapy sessions delivered. Vibe. Calm without crazy. Side effects may include deeper sleep, calmer days, and feeling like yourself again.
Well, welcome everybody back to another Mindful Monday, and I hope you are ready to find your vibe, because we are delighted to welcome back Mark L. Fox back to Mindful Mondays. He is a multifaceted entrepreneur, a scientist, an engineer with an impressive background that includes serving as a former Space Shuttle chief engineer. He's also an author, creative thinking consultant, and crop formation researcher. And Mark's adventurous spirit shines through with his 33 years as a hot air balloonist and the remarkable achievement of building his own airplane. But as the founder of Resona Health and a creator of Vibe, Mark has developed innovative RFT devices designed to support relaxation, promote balance, and encourage the body's natural recovery processes. So, Mark, welcome back to Mindful Mondays.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. This will be fun.
Oh, absolutely. First of all, I got to say, I do love that ad. I love the humor in it, because I know we all hate, seeing those ads and stuff all the time, and the whole list of, oh my God, here's all your side effects. So love the ad.
Yep. But one of the top marketing guys told me is like, you got to measure some of your advertising, not only by how many compliments you get, but by how many complaints you get. So we get a lot of complaints. So it's getting people's attention. They're like, we got one today that was awful. It's like, you guys are crazy. Why would you do something that you're stupid? Blah, blah. It's like, okay, well, you heard it. Or you paid attention to it.
It did its job then, right?
Job, yes. At least part of it, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So when we first met, you had just created the Vibe. And for those that were not with us, can you briefly explain why you created the Vibe and what you discovered?
Yeah, I mean, you said I was ex-rocket scientist. I never planned to get into any kind of energy therapy. It was 27, 28 years ago now. My dog could not come upstairs one day, and me and my wife flipped a coin to see, excuse me, who wasn't going to work that day. So we took her it was me. So I took her to the vet, and they did an x-ray on her, and she had severe arthritis in her spine. And then that vet's kind of like, there's not a lot we can do. We can give her some Rimadyl. That's about it. Some pain killing stuff. But it's like, and then a friend of mine who's a very forward thinking veterinarian in Houston, he's like, hey, there's this magic machine that can actually reverse arthritis and do a number of things. And I'm kind of like, well, that's BS. That's not true. I'm a skeptic, right? But it's my dog, so I'm going to look into it. So I did, and I discovered that, hey, this technology's real, right? There's 60,000 papers out there on it, and PubMed has something like 35,000 papers that I know of, 6,000 on PubMed. And so I started to dive into this stuff. It's like, okay, this is real. It doesn't work 100% of the time, but it has a very high success rate. And so that's how I started. It was with my dog. Then I saw what it could do for PTSD, and it just really kind of pissed me off, because I saw that it could really help with PTSD, but it was with expensive machines and clinical environments scattered around the country, and there's no access to a affordable device that people could use at home, like therapy on the go. So I naively dove into, my undergraduate's chemical engineering, not electrical engineering, but I'm like, can't be that hard. Well, after about an 8-foot pile of coils over here in the corner of the room, it was harder than I thought to balance all the engineering part of it, right? Get the battery right, doesn't get too hot, doesn't weigh too much because you wear it around your neck. So all of those things. So that's how the Vibe came to be, was initially my dog, and then the first study we ever did was on PTSD, which we have a 98% success rate. So my goal was to build, this kind of energy therapy that was a pocket device that you could have therapy on the go.
Yeah, and I love it. I have mine, and you and I have that in common because my service dog, who's 15 now, is starting to go through serious arthritis and parts with his leg. So actually, my Vibe is in his bandana around
Okay.
his neck right now. I run him on arthritis, or sometimes I do fibromyalgia, whatever I feel. It just kind of helps him to get through, make him comfortable.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Because they did find like a low grade cancer, and Rimadyl wouldn't be an answer anyway. And I'm not big on those. I try to fix everything holistic and naturally as much as possible. But
Right.
like no one likes to see them in pain. So I'm glad it's helping him to move around more.
Are you trying general inflammation as well too?
I switched, yeah, I'll do general information and then inflammation, and then sometimes even like the fibromyalgia, just for the possibilities of other things. Because we've had a big lump removed off of them last year that they said had a low grade cancer.
Okay.
So, yeah, I try different things. I rotate them out and see.
What's his
But
name? Or her
so
name?
his name's Skeeter Bug. I call him Bug for short. Freedom Service Dogs named him Skeeter. My friend called him Skeeter Bug. So I just call him Bug. He's a love bug.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, he's a good boy. So anyway, but yeah, so the PTSD, what have you found with that? Because I know a lot of people, there's a lot of veterans and stuff that struggle with that. And how is it helping them?
Well, what we did was we did a pre-survey. We used the same survey. It's self-reported survey after 30 days. So we use the same thing that the Veterans Administration uses. It's called the PLC-5. So it's 20 questions on a score of 0 to 4 for each question, and it's just basic questions about memory and nightmares and things that, the symptoms of PTSD. So the study just looked at people using a Vibe a minimum of 3 to 4 times a week for 30 days, and then at the end of 30 days, they did a post-survey. So what we're showing is, still today, a 98% success rate with it. It's actually probably higher than that, because mixed in that 2% are people that put it on the shelf, used it once, didn't really use it, don't really tell us the truth. So we do know the number one reason it won't work is if you don't use it. But so that's it. It's just doing that study before and after. That's what we've done to date. We're trying to do more and more studies with, that's right, it's subjective data, but it's still the gold standard for the medical world, right? You walk into a doctor's office and you have an AVS, analog visual scale, on the wall for pain, for example, that says 0 to 10, 10 you're crying, 0 you're laughing, right? And so most people come in, they go, I came in as an 8, I got this therapy, whatever it is, I left as a 3, and then all the statistical analysis are done between the 8 and the 3, right? So that's good. It's good data, and it's still the standard. We're trying to do a lot of more advanced things with biomarkers. For example, this Carrio watch is our new watch. It's like a Fitbit, but it has heart rate variability that's actually extracted out of it. So, and Oura rings, I'm going to ruin everyone that's got one. Oura rings and Fitbit stuff, they're not really measuring heart rate variability. They're doing this algorithm average for 4 hours when you're sleeping. That's how I understand their technology. This one's doing a sample every 15 minutes. But the main markers to show biologically that it's improved is, number one, for anything, this is for any ailment in the world, it's going to be sleep. Are you getting good sleep? Are you getting good rest? Are you getting REM, blah, 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 and this measures sleep. Ridiculously accurate, because I know exactly how long I pee in the middle of the night, because it tells me. Okay? So, but heart rate variability is going to be the second best measurement. And if people aren't familiar with this, you want your heart rate to come down for health, but you want your heart rate variability to go up. The variation between heartbeats is heart rate variability, which is one of the best indicators to show that you're in balance, that your fight and flight is balanced, and the rest of your body is operating the way it should. So those are the two best markers. And the third one, which seems super non-scientific, but it's dead on accurate, is, what does your spouse, your kids, and your friends say about you? Do they say a difference, right? Does your wife not want to divorce anymore? Do your kids want to hang out with you now? These are real stories that we get every day.
Yeah.
Joe invited me to the picnic last weekend. He hasn't done that in 2 or 3 years. Why did you invite me to the picnic? Well, because you weren't being much of a dick anymore, right? So you get comments like that all the time of, So the litmus test is the people around you and the people in your circle. So sleep, heart rate variability, that litmus test of your friends and family are all good indicators besides just your self-reporting of whether you're feeling better or not. So I wasn't smart enough to come up with the last one. It just, so we get 300 to 400 emails a day. So, and about 100 phone calls. When you see that, you're getting that kind of constant feedback from, I didn't think it was doing that big a difference. And the other challenge, honestly, Laura, with anything, with PTSD too, is people forget how bad they felt 30 days ago. It's just, now I get in trouble for this, but this is my theory and I'm sticking to it. The only reason human beings exist on this planet is because women have learned to forget how bad the first pregnancy was, how painful it was to give birth. Because if they didn't forget that, we would never have two people come out of the same woman, and we would not replace ourselves. So we would be gone by now, because for that reason, 1 + 1 = 2, right? So that's my theory, and I know that's true. It has to be some biological thing that's going, hey, forget how bad that pain was so you can have a second baby. But so that's always a challenge, and I thought that was going to be a big problem with returns and stuff, and it's not really been, but there's still a lot of people that go, Laura, because it's PTSD, I wish I could share. We have lots of videos on our testimonials on our website. I wish I could share them all, but some of them are private, right?
Right.
But it is a very common thing for them to get on a Zoom call with me and go, yeah, I think it helped a little bit, but I'm not sure. I go, you self-reported a 70 or a 72 30 days ago, and you just reported a 12. The VA would say if you move more than 11 points, that's a huge factor. And you just drop 50 points. And they start crying. They sit there and cry on the Zoom call because they forgot how bad they felt. And I'd love to use those for marketing, but you got to respect people's privacy when they say, no, don't use my... It's amazing how many people are afraid to be on camera. I mean, you got all the millennials in the world posting themselves naked in bikinis and stuff 50 times a day, but when you ask for a video testimonial, people go, it's going to be permanent. Well, so is everything you just put out in the cloud.
Well, and I think they're out there, because I know I've had a number of guests that have been very vulnerable, very open to things that they have experienced and gone through. So they're out there. You might not have might not have found them yet. But
we found some, just not enough of them, right? To be
yeah.
It's a huge study. That study's large enough. I hate to admit this, I don't even count them anymore because I don't have enough time in the day to go keep adding the results. In the medical world, and this is not medicine, right? Because I don't treat, diagnose, cure anything. I'm not a doctor. But in the medical world, those are the only people that do statistics backwards. I think they do it because they want to be cool. Okay, so the medical world uses a p factor of 0.05. That's a statistical number, which means there's less than 5% chance that these results were due to chance alone. Now, anything less than 0.05 is, in that world, is statistically significant. Our p factor right now it's like 0.0000004 or something like that for PTSD. So it's 1 in tens to hundreds of millions of probability that it's not due to chance alone. The rest of the scientific world would say, hey, there's a 95% probability it worked, not there's a 5% probability that it didn't work, right? So they're the only ones that do it backwards, I think, like I said, try and be cool. But anyway, that's where we're at with PTSD. And a lot of people, the thought just came to mind, you will say, it's just a placebo effect, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, there's no doubt a placebo effect. How big a factor it is, you can't tell. I don't think it's that huge, but there has to be. And you know what, when it comes to PTSD and somebody's suicidal and they have a gun in their mouth and then they don't, I actually don't care if it's 100% placebo.
Right.
I've told my team members and stuff to go, this is going to be the most satisfying job you've ever had in your life, but this is not Housewives of Orange County. This is not a reality show. This is real people that have had miscarriages, death, cancer, torture, bad boyfriends, bad husbands, both. I mean, all of that. So they're real people you're talking to. And then they come to this technology. Most of them come because they're in long-term physical or mental pain or both, and nothing else has worked for them. So they're desperate. right? And
Mhm.
and we're not doctors and clinicians. We have to like walk a fine line of here's the protocols, here's what we can recommend, try these. But no, it's tough every day to go read some of these emails and just and here's one side effect I never planned for in my whole business plan. The women in my company are so nice to these guys that they now think it's their girlfriend. So then you think I'm kidding. They'll call and email 20 times a day. And it's like, I want to step in and go block them, do whatever. And they're like, no, he's just a nice guy. And he was suicidal. Now he's super friendly and he's having a good life, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, well, I'm not paying you to be on the phone for 2 hours talking to Jim. That's the joke on the team meetings. It's like, who's the new boyfriend this week? We get a lot of them.
But they've made an impact. They're making a difference, and they made a huge difference. And obviously, that person now has like a kindred
Yeah,
spirit or something that they can connect to. I would imagine that would change over time. But and you mentioned a lot of things, and almost anything holistic and natural. You always have to say that we don't cure, we don't claim this and that. I got that. But when you have been suffering, whether like I'm like you, whether it's placebo or not, and just like you said, you were a skeptic and then you
right,
saw it work. Everybody is going to be a skeptic of things that are new that they don't know. But if there's no side effects, right, and you're not going to be ruining another organ or something else, or making your situation worse because of side effects and stuff, then why not try it?
right, right. And I wrote an article called, because we had so many Facebook haters. In fact, I just had this conversation with the MD this morning. He's like, why would anyone hate you? I go, because they think I'm selling voodoo and I'm stealing money from old ladies. And like, so I had to write this article. I wrote this article and have to, called Liar, Liar, Pants on Fire. And it was my stupid logic to try and argue with all the Facebook haters, right? It's like, hey, here's the top scams of all time, okay? DNA sequencing, CRISPR, MRIs, antibiotics, right? Anesthesia. So I list all these technologies that were absolutely positively impossible until they weren't, right? So you keep that in mind. If you go man on the street with a microphone, you go, hey, do you know what PEMF is? It's going to be 1 out of 15 to 1 out of 20 people. I know because I've done that. I've gone man on the street and asked. In the horse world, because this is for people and pets, in the horse world, it's 100%. I have not met a horse owner that doesn't know what a MagnaWave is. They know what a big, bulky machine is. It's very expensive that a veterinarian has come out to the stables and treated their horse or somebody else's horse. So it's not new in the horse world. The biggest marketing challenge we have is everyone's like, how can a 2.4 ounce device do anything to a 1,000-pound animal? It does. And
Mhm.
horses, and dogs, and cats are more energy sensitive than people are. So
Absolutely.
it definitely works, but that's a hard marketing sell. Is like, try it, see if it works. But we get probably less returns from horse owners after they try it than we do people, because they
I
say,
was going to say not to the horse people that I know, because a lot of them that I know do the equine therapy and stuff because horses vibrate at a higher vibration and it helps
right,
people to feel better. And like dogs and stuff, they are more sensitive to the frequencies than even people are.
yeah,
And which is why they can pick up on your frequency, your energy, because of the way that, and it's kind of hard for people to wrap their head around, but yeah, that's 100% true. I know a lot of people that do natural things, and similar to the vibe and stuff for their horses. It works
right,
well.
right. Yep, very good point.
Yeah, yeah. But you have really expanded because it's been what, about I think almost a year and a half since we've had you on, and you have gone gangbusters. It used to just be the vibe, but now you have what, the how do you pronounce it, the Vagu vibe?
Well, I was hoping you'd be the
Vagu,
first person to ever pronounce it correctly. It's the Vega vibe.
Vega,
Like,
Vega. Well, it's not an A at the end. It is a U. I think of Wagyu, like Wagyu beef, but okay. So Vega vibe.
yeah, just short for vagus nerve is what it was for. So Vega vibe. So I was actually watching a TED presentation, and they're talking about. Let me back up a little bit. I got asked so much about vagus nerve, I'm like, I don't know anything about it, right? So I started to research it. That's what led me to a TED conference, some other videos, watched stuff, read a bunch of things. And the vagus nerve is 10th cranial nerve. It comes to your brain. It comes down both sides of your neck. It clusters around your heart. It goes to all the organs. And it's the super highway where your brain and organs communicate with each other. But what caught my attention was, it clusters around the heart. So my logic was build a necklace, a pendant like that, And that looks heavy. This is another weird marketing thing. This looks heavy, but it's 1 ounce. It weighs less than the chain does, right? It
Wow.
weighs absolutely nothing, but it just looks bigger. And I wanted to be really small, but this is where we had to invent some new technology to get it this small and that lightweight. But basically just wear it like a piece of jewelry so you could go out and about and you don't have necessarily the Vibe hanging there, which is fine too. That was the idea, is that it's going after the vagus nerve cluster that's around the heart to be able to tap into that pathway into the body the most. So that's what it is. We made the Vibe as easy as we could. It's got 60 protocols, they're alphabetical. You hit play. This one has an on button. Okay, there's no screen. You can't do anything. You can only turn it on or off. That's it. So that was the intent of this one. We've got really good feedback with it. This part of we were talking about best job in the world. Here's some fun stuff. When these first came out, I had multiple people in the same week go, my AFib went from 97 to 3. I go, I don't know what that means. So I had to ChatGPT that. And so I asked him, like, what do you measure? Is this what the doctor told you? No, I have AFib on my Apple Watch. I don't have an Apple Watch. So I'm like, oh. So we start digging into that. Vagus nerve changed AFib that much. So we now have, gotta be careful when I say this, because we have a study going on in New Zealand with a doctor, but doctors never finish my studies. So hopefully we'll get it someday. But we're doing exactly that, looking at AFib and POTS. You want to look at POTS as well because it's similar-ish, and there's not a good solution for it. So that's the second product that we have. The third one that we'll sell out today. We have more coming April 15th, but it's called the Blue Vibe. So it's PEMF. It's 40 hertz PEMF, but it's also, here's a little magnetic tester. Right, it shows it bounce around, but it's also 40 hertz light. So you can put it on, what it's for is cognitive impairment. So I want to be able to say the A word and the D word, and we probably will. I'll slip up somewhere in here. But you can say moderate cognitive impairment. So right here, you wear it on the inside of your wrists. It's got a wristband, right, that goes to a meridian on the inside of your wrist or the back of your neck. And this is how most people in our study have used it. They've gone just like that. Now, like with PMF, the closer to the body, the better. This does not need to touch the skin because the magnetic field will go through your shirt. So will the magnetic field on the Blue Vibe, but the light will not. So to get the dual action effect, you got to have it against your skin, which works great. So back to the science part is I've been very reluctant to sell any of these until we got clinical data, which we have now. And Laura, I am trying not to sound dishonest from a marketing point of view, but I am so excited about the results that we have. We have 100% success rate of people reporting improvement. Our P factor is 1 in 4.5 million now. It's that many zeros. And I'm going to sell out in a couple days. I have another shipment getting here April 15th. We're going to keep selling them kind of as a backlog thing and I already have tons of distributors going, sell them to me wholesale. And I'm like, not till I get stock, because I'm trying to get the individual ones out to people that need it anyway.
Yeah.
So that is super, super exciting. I was hoping for a 70% success rate, and right now it's still 100. Being the scientist, I keep adding data to it as it comes in, but actually when I do it each time, I was like, I really don't want it to not be 100. I don't want it to be 98, but I'm trying to be. I got in an ethical fight with ChatGPT. This is hilarious. My wife heard it, and I go, well, wait a minute. I should have a cutoff at like 95 because I didn't think through this. They don't have enough room for improvement, right? These people don't have enough cognitive impairment to show improvement. And ChatGPT goes, you can't do that. You already started the study. You got to include everybody. I'm like, or you can do it in a phase 2 thing and subset. I'm like, yeah, but I wouldn't have put them in the study had I thought through that enough. So I just said, all right, ChatGPT, you win. I will not throw any data out. And it still has shown 100% improvement. Even to people so the scale is like 0 to 140. If you're at 140, you have 0 cognitive impairment. And we had people get in the study that were at 125. So there's nothing wrong with them. And then they went from 125 to 135. So they still showed improvement. So I got maybe lucky there, but yeah, this thing is super exciting about the stuff it can possibly.
No, that's incredible. And again, yeah, rather than having things that are going to make you all foggy and your brain not function right, I mean that is loads better. How do you measure that? How do you measure the cognitive for it?
Um, so we're using what's called PROMIS. So again, it's a self-reported survey. It's an acronym PROMIS, which is a very common one for cognitive impairment and just general quality of life. One point that really motivated me is, so I'm 64. People my age or 10 years younger, the amount of people I've seen that have quit their career to not put their parents in a home is mind-boggling, right? That shouldn't be, right? And so that's part of what's making it to me super exciting is, wow, if you could, it's change. It's not the person that, it's not just the person that is can't take care of themselves anymore, or forgetting too much stuff, and they can be harmful to themselves. It's their kids and everyone around them, right? And caregivers and all that stuff. So that's really exciting. So to answer your question, it's still a survey, but it's not one Mark made up. It's the one that's the most common one out there that any cognitive impairment hospital would be using to verify any other, right?
Right.
Now, we're trying to do the exact same thing with biomarkers and stuff. Is phase one was just the surveys. Now, because Mark can only give away so much stuff for free before he gets a divorce. Okay, at some point I start making money. So I didn't give watches away first. I wanted to prove that this work at all based on self-reporting. I want to tell you one quick story of this because one of the nurses that's running. So I have a center over here, a wellness center where I live close to. Jamaican lady, nurse, super nice lady, never interrupted anyone as far as I know, right? So I'm talking to another participant. She comes over and goes, Mark, and she kind of pushes the other person out of the way a little bit. And I go, whoa. She goes, this thing is unbelievable. My mother's 83 years old. She's ordering groceries from Publix to be delivered on her phone, and she's never done that in her life. She ordered her own medications from the pharmacy. She's never, ever done that. She told me she was depressed, and now she's not. And nobody knew she was depressed, and neither did she. She just now realizes now, I must have been depressed because I don't feel like something's gone. And then she goes, I went over the other day, and she was dancing in the living room to music. I didn't even know she had any kind of music player or knew how to turn a phone on to play music. And she goes, it's in the conversations with her, or I have to like go, is this really my mother? She's seen that dramatic of a change. I mean, that's one data point, but we got a lot of them now, right? But that's just one story instead of digging into a million stories. And we've only been doing this study since Christmas,
Wow.
right?
Mm-hmm.
It's 6 weeks. I should clarify this. It's 6 week study. Run it for 1 hour a day. You can use it more if you want to. It shuts off after an hour on its own. And we asked them to use it 3 to 5 times a day minimum. Most people did use it every day. And the ages were like 50 to 82. And I didn't design that. That's just who showed up for work that day, right? It's like, okay. And the people who just happened to sign up. So that's the 3 products we have. We have anti-wrinkle cream. We have a quadruple peptide cream where you can take the cream and infuse anti-aging into the cream. That's even more voodoo Mark's selling, so I don't market that a whole lot. But those are the primary products, Vibe, Vega Vibe, and the Blue Vibe, and our watch is what we have right now.
Well, I will say it's not voodoo. I know of a number of things that can do that. It's just people are not educated. It's not something we were brought up around or taught. But
And I always
it's
just say that tongue in cheek because people say that all the time. You're selling voodoo, you creepy
oh
old
yeah,
man.
and everybody calls it the woo woo space, and it's like you know what? I'll take woo woo over drugs and effect and doctor visits any
Right,
day. And
right,
what works works.
right. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. So you mentioned now, so have you found that it's more effective to hang it around your neck, like even the Vibe? Because when you and I first talked, of course, we had quite the conversation because of all the different places that you
Right.
could store, put the Vibe, because, throw it in your pocket and work. Do you find that it's more effective if they hang it around and have it closer to their heart?
Which product? The Vibe or the
The
Vega?
Vibe itself. The Vibe itself.
No, the Vibe itself. It's a good question. I don't know. The Vibe itself, I've always said, it doesn't matter where it's at because it's like a pebble in the pond, that the magnetic field itself is not strong enough to travel very far. But it's kind of like a pebble in the pond because it's resonating with the water in your body. An alternating magnetic field is going to make an alternating electrical current, even though it's almost nobody can feel it. It's so small, but your body's conductive, your skin and stuff. So it's going to travel just like electricity in a wire or extension cord. And then you also have magnetite, which is what's in birds and turtles that humans believe is how they migrate with the magnetic pole. It was discovered that humans have magnetite in their cells as well very recently. If that's true, that would help transfer a magnetic field. So in general, the Vibe can be anywhere in the body. If it's pain related, if it's back pain, put it between your pants and your underwear. If it's arthritis in your hand, if you can use just like a little, sweatband or something to put it near your wrist. If it's, I'll say it wrong, but it's whatever platus something where your feet hurt. Okay.
Oh, plantar fasciitis. I've had that before.
Okay. Yeah. mister Peanut. If you got the Mr. Peanut in your foot, put it in a sock. And so it still will work if it's not right over it, but it just seems to work a little better for pain if it's closer. Now, the vagus nerve thing on the heart, right, is relatively recent as far as Mark understanding that. There's a veterinarian, he's on our staff now, named Dr. Tom Walsh. He has a rehab center in Myrtle Beach, and he sees 40 dogs a day. And he goes, Mark, I have every PMF machine there is. Yours is the best. I don't know if it's the technology or you're the one that figured out how to put it over the heart. So we have, as you know, a bandana kind of hangs over the heart, and we have dog vests now that fit in a pocket, so the Vibe goes right over the heart. So it's a long answer to your question. Probably based on that and things that we know is wearing it. All you women do it anyway. Put it in your bra or wear the lanyard around your neck near the heart. It's probably going to be more effective, but we have not done any A/B testing with that or anything to go prove that. I'll just mention we don't have the product yet because we're just now started testing it, but it's going to be a Fitbit for dogs and horses.
Oh, awesome.
So we're measuring direct stress and pain. And so we're doing that right now in Dr. Tom's office. It's some pretty cool technology. We didn't invent it, but it's never been used on a horse, but I'm going to do it. So it's to measure directly, basically, pain and stress in an animal. And there's devices out there that can do that, but you have to shave the dog and put electrodes on them to get to the skin. And the reason you don't have a Fitbit for a dog or a horse easily is you need to see the skin with light, okay?
Right.
A dog or a horse is too much fur. So I've been designing forever how do you get the light to the skin with little probes, which don't really, like a dog shock collar, you got to get away to the skin. But there's another guys we partnered with that have figured out how to do all that with just gyroscopes and accelerometers. So it has no light input into it. And then when I say this, you're gonna go, duh, because I went duh after I started reading all of it. If the dog is running more, catching a ball, has more activity, right, is sleeping more comfortably, right? They're doing all these things, and their heart rate variability, which I had to learn the hard way, is completely different than a human's. They have extreme heart rate variability all the time, so you need some serious AI to analyze the data and know if they're getting healthier or not. But we're doing that right now. We have 3 test dogs to make sure Mark knows how to log into the program and even read whatever I'm reading, okay? And then we're rolling it out. It's 25 test dogs in Dr. Tom's office, and then we're going to do horses because I'm just going to be optimistic. The guys that designed it, I said, how well does it work on horses? Because nobody in the world's ever tried it that I know of. They go, well, guess what? I'm going to be the world's expert on these things on horses because I'm just going to put them on horses and go analyze the data and see what it says, right? And modify the algorithm if we have to be able to measure it. So that's some super exciting stuff, which, by the way, it has a GPS on it too. It's pretty cool. We tested it on the beach here last weekend. You could draw with your finger on your phone. I want an alarm if he runs out of here, this spot. So we kept throwing the ball down the beach out of this spot to see if the alarms went off, and they did. So far, so good on all the testing. I don't know when we'll have that out. It's going to take us 2 months to test it. It'll be probably early summer.
That's incredible though, because that was going to be one of my next questions. Is because I was you've got a lot going, but I'm sure I was figuring you probably had something else on the horizon that you were going to be working towards as well.
One of my friends, one of the best marketers, he's a top infomercial guy in the country, and he's like, Mark, quit the inventitis stuff. He goes, I got a client that does $50 million a year selling fat that you put on your face for wrinkles. Okay, it's beef tallow, and that's all he has. You're inventing too many things. I'm like, oh, so you don't want to know about the one where I turn your phone into a Vibe? He goes, what? I go, yeah, well, that one's top secret. I'm testing it now.
Yep. No, there's stuff out there, yeah, that I've seen too that, yeah, it might have used to been a device and now you can do it through your phone. And yeah,
Yeah.
there are so many things out there. I'm always open to anything holistic that can help people to feel better. That's
I'll throw
always
this out there because I put a contest out for $25,000 and nobody bit yet. Okay.
okay.
So on your phone, you have most phones, and all new ones will have a Qi coil. It's a coil on here that you put on a magnetic thing, just like your toothbrush, to charge your battery. Right?
Right.
All of the all of the protocols in the Vibe are MP3 files. They're songs. There's just no speaker. It's a coil, so it's music your body hears, but your ears can't. So find me some smart engineer that can hack the OS in the phone. So instead of power going from a charger or magnetic field into the coil into the battery, I want the MP3 to come out of the coil here. Then you got a $3 app that takes this and puts it into the phone. And everyone says it's impossible. You can't hack the OS to do that. I go, nope, just haven't found the right smartest guy enough yet, gal, whatever, to go figure out how to do that. Because I know there's a way to hack that. So I did. I put on Facebook a $25,000 reward for anyone that just don't even design it. Just give me the concept of how you would do that. Everyone said it's impossible. So
It's not. I'm with you. It's not. There's nothing is impossible. There's always a way. There's a lot of things that we have today that people would have said was impossible, and look at where we're at. So if everybody stopped at it's impossible, we would not be where we're at today.
So one cool thing, this is my very first glass of reverse osmosis water that just got installed in the sink by Daniel 5 minutes before the call.
Okay.
So that's just a cool thing. I was like, I never had glass. I'm like, all right. So anyway.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. All different things. So do you have some other testimonials that you can share with us, or different results, things that people have seen, or what's maybe some of your funnier things that have happened?
Ooh, I don't know what sense of humor you guys have. We'll start with, maybe we can get to funnier things. We'll test that. Maybe you can edit it out. But just, yeah, testimonies, we have tons and tons and tons and tons of them. A lot of people skeptical. I can't believe it actually did this. You can go, I think on our website, I have almost 200 video testimonials. I should have 2,000 because what I just said is how hard it is to get somebody to actually let me put it online. Right? It's at least 100 to 1, right? So, but yeah, things I already mentioned, kind of like my wife doesn't want a divorce anymore, right? A lot of, and I'm trying not to cry saying it, like a lot of suicidal people that aren't, dogs that can jump on and off couches now and haven't done that for 2 years, dogs that can chase frisbees and balls that haven't done it for 2 years. Unfortunately, the horse sanctuary network in the United States, whatever that node is, they've figured out that Mark gives stuff away for free, and every single horse sanctuary in the world contacts me wanting free stuff. I'm like, I keep saying I can't afford the divorce. I've given too much stuff away, but we have an incredible amount of horses that have been dumped at a sanctuary. Their owners gave up on them, and now the horse is running again. People are riding them again. Those type of things. The one I'll always say, just because it's the one that pops in my mind, because if it doesn't raise the hair on your arms, you're not human, is a 17-year-old girl said, Mark, I'll never have a date in my life because I have Tourette's. And all the boys hate me because I get bullied all the time. I'm a monster. And she goes, I ran the brain balancing protocol, my Tourette's disappeared, and I have a date Saturday night.
Wow.
That was a couple years ago, and then she ended up marrying the guy. Now, I never told her to run brain balancing. She just did it on her own, and her Tourette's went away. I didn't know it could do that. I already said I didn't know this could do something with AFib. That'll be super cool if we get enough data to quote, can't make a claim, but you can make what's called a structured functional claim. That's an exact word the FDA allows you to use if you have the data to say it did what I said it did. But so we get a lot of feedback like that. Okay, I'll let you edit this. Can you edit this part if you don't like it?
No, I don't edit. So if you don't want it on there, don't edit it.
No,
But
but it's hilarious. Okay, I'll leave it.
okay. Well, I know when you and I first talked, you used to have like, some funny things that happen because, people either dropping it in the toilet or you used to have the, I know you actually go through and you actually test for that for stuff as they
Yes.
come up because you were getting feedback.
It's either the men don't admit it or it's only women that do it. I'm not sure what goes on in the bathroom, but yes. So we actually, the coils right here they got to have vent holes in them because they do generate some heat. We actually have a seal on the back of it, kind of like Tyvek that you have on a house.
Mhm.
It's going to let air come out, but it won't let moisture come in. So we have that on the last couple versions to try and help prevent it. Note to self, if you get it, drop it in the toilet. We have had one person I know of that got it wet without dropping it in the toilet because 100% of them were toilet incidents until now. A lifeguard dove off the podium to save a kid and had it in her pocket. So that would happen. If you get it wet, a bag of rice is not going to do anything. Hit it with a blow dryer. As quick as you can, take a blow dryer and drive the moisture out of it, and it'll usually save it. But yeah, I'm just trying to think of some more stories, but I had one lady tell me the doctors don't know what it is. Every couple weeks, I itch so bad in my arms, I scratch till I bleed. I have scabs all over me. It's like, what is it? Nobody knows what it is. So I'm like, okay, sounds like an allergy. And in general inflammation or inflammation's 80% of all ailments in the world. So just run general inflammation and allergies. And it went away. So we don't know if it's a food allergy or pollen or what. No idea. But that went away, which is super cool. I had 3 doctors contact me in the same week, says, hey, this thing's kicking butt for MS. I'm like, I don't have an MS protocol. What are you running? Fibromyalgia? And they all 3 went, yep. So they're looking at the core protocols and the expansion protocols and saying, and we tell everyone this, look at the 60 protocols, the core ones that are on there. If you find a direct match, use that because that is the most pedigree and data behind it. If you can't find an exact match, look at the expansion protocols, which they're already on your device because people always go, how do I get mine? It's the 5 brainwave protocols that you repurpose for 70 other things. So like theta, I think is ED, erectile dysfunction, right? So you can go look at those other expansion ones and try that. But okay, I'll find one that's, I don't know, I'm not being racist. I don't know why it's 75-year-old black guys, but they all call me about ED and tell me how great this is. And they start telling me about their sex life on my cell phone. I'm like, dude, thank you for the feedback, but I don't, you give me a nightmare and I don't have time to listen to this whole thing. No, it's seriously. The problem, one of the problems is when Mark started this company, we're the only people in this industry that have a phone number, right? And this was this cell phone right here.
Right.
So we have 5,000 people have my cell phone number and think I'm their personal doctor. So it just rang. You just saw it ring while I was holding it up. I don't ever answer it.
Right.
I can't. I just be on the phone all day talking to guys and girls. And, hey, help me with this, help me with that. And I'm like, I'm trying to run a company here too.
So now I have to ask because I have the device, and you mentioned the core pro, and I know how to flip through them. But where is there the list of like how do you know what protocols goes for that brainwave? Is there a list somewhere, or how do we find those?
Yes.
Or
Yeah,
am I
so
not?
it's online.
Okay.
No, it's online. So here's your answer. This is the honest answer. So every day we get people contacting us and customers and marketers going, God, whoever your marketing guy is, fire him because he's the dumbest idiot in the world because you don't have the protocols listed on the website. Right. I took them down because the FDA doesn't want any of this stuff to exist. So they don't want me putting right on the website what the actual protocols are. So you can put this in your notes, PEMF World. So it's pemfworld.eth.limo because I asked one of my friends who slings code in a dark room, right? They go, how do you put this on the blockchain so when the government takes me out, the protocol still exists? He goes, "You're gonna love this acronym, Mark." I go, "What?" He goes, "It's called the Interplanetary Filing System, and it's in the blockchain. So we have all the protocols in the blockchain that anyone can go access. All of my, you can go to our website on Resona Health under the knowledge base. Just type in protocols. You'll find both lists, expansion protocols or core protocols. I just don't have them in the main navigation of the
Okay.
website. I'm trying to herd off the, the
The
FD,
hand slapping and everything else that comes along with it.
the hand slapping and everything else. Of you can't do this. I'm like, yeah, I can. And it's sickening because we won't go down that rabbit hole. Everyone
No.
knows.
Yeah.
It,
We're familiar with the rabbit hole.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but no, it's really quite incredible, and it just kind of blew me away because I was like, I remember when we very first started, and it's like now I can be on a Duolingo app and stuff, and whoop, Resona Health pops up, and you have ads and stuff popping up. You've got all these different expansions, and
You know
so
what's weird about that is I'm actually cautious now of conversations with somebody that isn't one of my friends because I'm warning them. I go, turn your phone off, all the way off, because as soon as you start talking to me, you're never going to stop seeing my ads, right? Because I have so many friends like, I can't stop doing this. I can't take it anymore. There's too many of your ads out there. I'm like, well, because you're my friend and you talk to me and you probably clicked on something, right? So we run a lot of ads. Anyone thinks I'm making a bunch of money, talk to Mark Zuckerberg because he has all of it. He has all my money. It's all ad spent. That's what this game is. It's sad, but that's the world that we live in. You know, I used to at this Wizard Academy that it's a entrepreneurial school, 2 to 3 day classes. It's the coolest stuff you'll ever learn faster. And we used to always ask somebody comes with a new idea, business like, what problem are you trying to solve? How many people have that problem? Why is your solution better than anyone else's? Which is the fundamentals of a new business. Now the first question we ask is, what's your markup? What does it cost, and what can you retail it for? And have you proven that? Because if you don't have a 10x markup, stop. You cannot win. My wife asked me, how many companies have you started in the last 10 years? I'm like, I don't know. She goes, go count them. So it was 12. And I learned the hard way. Mark's really stupid. It took me 12 companies to figure out if you have make it for $1, wholesale for $2, and retail for $4, you're going to go broke before you start. There's not enough margin in there in this 2026 world. There's just not. And they're all expensive. Facebook, Google, we're running Sirius XM radio commercials. We're running Peacock TV commercials, all of those. And my friend, Roy Williams, who I learn more from anyone in the world in the business, was like, Mark, it takes a lot of money to make noise. A lot of money. And it does. I'll just put it in perspective. I have to pay my credit card every 48 hours.
wow.
My friend here last weekend goes, why would you do that? Because it maxes out every 2
Max.
days. Every 2 days. It's ridiculous. My wife, her nickname is Lucy Van Pelt from the Peanuts because everything should cost a nickel. So she is
Right.
not allowed to look at any of the finances at all because she just starts shaking when she sees how much money I'm just burning trying to make a difference, right? And make noise. And I got to fight against the drug companies that own the airwaves. I mean, they own the 6 o'clock news, the most expensive ads in the world, right? They dominate it. So
I think you're doing a fantastic job, and I love what you're doing, and you're a lot like me, where it's, yeah, do we need to make money in the end of the day? Sure, but we'd rather see people be healthier and impact lives in a positive way. I don't know. I did a biography one time on Richard Branson, which I always loved his outlook. Anyway, that man has started over 200 different businesses.
I didn't know
Over
that.
it's well over 200 businesses. Not all of them succeeded. Some of them failed, but it's always a lesson learned, and it never keeps him down. He just keeps going. And the only reason why everything is called Virgin is because he always does something new. He improves on something that he didn't like, and it either goes or it doesn't. And if we didn't have people like you or him, I mean, yeah,
Thank
we would be lost. So I for one am glad that you are doing what you're doing, and I think it's quite remarkable.
Thank you. And I told my whole team, it's like, we were actually profitable last year. Okay. We were profitable. I said, now before all of you start yelling about the profit sharing I want to go do, here's how much I just spent today buying more inventory. It is basically all of it. The entire bank account, almost. I saved enough to pay the people. That's about all we have left. Because you got to get this stuff in the pipeline, right? Is we're hoping to grow and um, okay,
Yeah, but
yeah,
you're keeping things affordable for people, and whether you're a skeptic or not, it's affordable for them to try because what you pay for doctor's visits, drugs, and
no
insurance
doubt.
policies and everything else, I mean, way outweighs what you're doing and what that product is.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing called, I think we're the fastest growing PMF company in the world. I'm making that claim until somebody tells me no. That's the good news. The bad news is, what's the quote? It's like the ultimate flattery is when somebody copies you. So now nobody's copying our products yet because they could copy, but they can't copy the software very easy. But they're copying our name. So I have companies selling other supplements under using our name. They're using very close order numbers, and they're using Resona Health and Resona in the name, and trying to get these guys shut. That's just so then we'll get bad reviews because they're not fulfilling some of their orders, right?
Yeah.
They're signing people up for subscriptions, and not people didn't want that. So I'm like, so I'm trying to fight all these. Well, my lawyers say I can't name the platform, but one of the biggest platforms for reviews is like, none of those are our product. How do we get this down? And you can't. So that unfun part of it, I don't enjoy. That's why I still do the inventitis, because that's a whole lot funner to come over here and play with that. Do a Fitbit for a dog and see a dog run around and get better than it is to go burn money with attorneys, right? So it's like, but it's part of doing business and part of growing.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you have inventitis. We've got about 3 minutes left. What do you want to leave everybody with today?
And we touched on it a lot, and I say this many times is, Rich Hall was a comedian in the 70s that had a thing called sniglets. He actually mailed them in, right? There's no internet. And it's like, it's words that were not in the dictionary but should be. And one of them was boson. There's a combination of bozo and ozone, and it's an invisible gas that surrounds people that stops new ideas from getting in. Get rid of your boson. It's what we said earlier about liar, liar, pants on fire, right? All this technology and stuff, even if it's magical, doesn't mean it doesn't work. The thing that breaks my heart the most is when it's almost, to my knowledge, it doesn't ever happen the other way around. It's always a wife buys it for their husband and they won't even take it out of the package, right? Where they have PTSD or severe pain or something. It's like, come on, man, try the thing. I mean, we have a money back guarantee, send it back. So my final message would be, if you got boson in your life, get rid of it, have an open mind. It is some magical technology. It's some cool stuff, but it's working for a vast majority of people. So give it a try is the punchline.
Yeah, absolutely. And you do have it's a 30-day money back guarantee, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And and it's 30, to be clear, it's 30 days from the day you get it delivered. Since we ship, which I'm the only company I know of that does this, we ship worldwide for free. So
Wow.
when I'm trying to send it to Pakistan, it takes 3 weeks to get there. It's a month after you get it. And we want you to try it for a month. And one key thing there is we do not say money back guarantee, no questions asked. We're going to ask questions because you bought it for a reason. I want to make sure you're using it right. And maybe talking to us, we'll find out you're using the wrong protocol. That happens a lot. That doesn't sound like the right thing you ought to be using. Try these three. And then they go, this one worked for me, the other one didn't. Right? So we want to talk to you. My team wants to talk to you because we want to make you feel better. The money thing's part of it, but it's not like we're trying to never pay anybody back, right? So it's like, give it a try. No boson.
Yeah. No, I love that. And that is huge because shipping is, we won't even go down that rabbit hole, but shipping costs are like freaking phenomenal nowadays. And half the times it doesn't get there when it says it's going to either.
Oh, no
But
kidding. Yeah.
But Mark, yeah, I absolutely loved having you back on here, and thank you for
Yeah.
sharing. And yeah, keep up with your inventitis. I would
Okay.
encourage anybody, if you have any of the things that we've mentioned or different challenges, definitely connect with Mark. Go to his website and check it out because it is a phenomenal product, and you can't lose with someone that has a heart behind it like that. So thank you for joining us.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me again. Great to see you.
Oh, you too. Everybody have a great rest of your Monday and a wonderful week, and we will see you next time.
Bye bye.